Hello everyone. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of how to finance your startup business. You've done a lot of work probably on planning it, thinking about it, being prepared with respect to friends and family, and make sure you've got the right kind of support to get going in the first place. But as you probably know, or you should know if you don't, starting a business is not free. In fact, it's quite expensive. So let's go through some of the alternatives of how you can finance your business. The first thing is that you got to be prepared for it. You got to have your ducks in a row. You got to have a plan for your business to start with, a describable, defendable, well supported with information and research plan for your business. So do that. Think about it. Make sure that whatever it is you want to do, that you've got a reasonably good chance, in your own mind anyway, even nobody else's, but in your own mind, you're convinced that you're ready to go. So you got a plan. You also have to have a plan for financing it as well. How are you going to actually do this? Let's go through the choices that you can consider for financing your own business once you're prepared. First is, heck, finance it yourself. You may have saved up some money. Quite frankly, one of the best choices here is spend some time, get a good paying job, and accumulate some cash yourself. Accumulate 5,000 to 10,000 more just to get going in the first place. Finance it yourself. You're not dependent on anyone else for money. You don't owe anybody any money. Nobody's bought any equity in your company. You are on your own. Quite frankly, it not only could be yourself, it could be you and a couple of others. You could have co-founders of your company that join with you in financing. So it could be 2 or 3 of you. You could put together $50,000 to $100,000 perhaps amongst you to get the company going in the first place. So the first choice is you folks fund it yourself, and you're not dependent on anybody. It's your own dime. But it's quite often the case that you're going to need money from other sources. So let's explore some. The first is a term you've probably heard many times. It's called bootstrapping your company. That means your company finances itself. This is mainly true of services-oriented businesses, where you have low capital expense. You're not paying a lot of people for an outside service. You don't have to pay for yourself for a while. So you're performing the services of the company yourself and taking in money that you'll set aside and help your cash grow over time. So you may have in mind really a product business, but if you could start it in such a way that you could perform a service for customers. So I'm thinking of consulting services, marketing services, sales services, whatever your skill is in business, you can do it as a consultant, a paid consultant. So bootstrap it by starting that way, accumulate some cash, and then do what else you think you want to do with respect to expanding upon your services or funding the development of a product that you want to sell as well, software or hardware. That's bootstrapping. That's one of your first choices. The next choice is that famous friends and family financing. I call it associates because friends and family seems to have connotations that are not attractive. It's really asking for money, preferably as a loan, from people you know, people that trust you, know you well, and would be willing to invest in your company in some form. Again, I suggest you do it as a loan with a handsome interest rate, but preferable payment terms by you. Friends and family is the way you're going about it. The key is these are people that know you and trust you and really want to help you. So that's associates. The next is the good old bank loan. Now, friends and family could be loans as well, but you, under certain conditions, can go to a financing institution, preferably local or regional banks. The major national banks are going to be very strict and hard to deal with and really don't fund startups. There are some ways you can get financing from a financing institution of some kind, but It takes a guarantee by you. You have to have great credit, no bankruptcies in your background. So you're a pretty solid individual, and the financing institution can readily see that you'll be able to pay the money back. That sometimes works. There are some financing institutions that specialize on people in need, so consider them as well. The next form of financing is equity financing. Fancy term, meaning people providing you the funds are buying stock in your company. It's kind of complicated, and the details of it are kind of arcane. But there are organizations you could go to, private individuals as well as angel groups, later on venture capital organizations, to whom you can take in money to finance your business as an early stage business, or later when you want to expand it. Equity financing is a way to go. But it's kind of complicated in terms of the way the money's paid back, the expectations they're going to have of your success, and the list goes on. That's a subject in and of itself, but it's a possibility. The next is the ever famous crowdfunding in both its forms, donation-based crowdfunding campaigns or a financing campaign done on a crowdfunding platform for loans or equity in your company. So there's all of these choices, but quite frankly, they're just as complicated as getting financing from angel groups, or asking for a loan from a bank, or from private individuals. You're going to have to put together a really successful crowdfunding campaign. It's done online. You got to have a website. You got to seed your campaign to get started. There's a lot to it. But it is an alternative, and one that has a great deal of interest today. So consider crowdfunding. So there you have it. There are the main choices for how you finance your own business. Every one of them takes being prepared, having good solid planning behind it, and a good solid presentation about a business that looks like it could be a winner. Pick the one that's right for you and right for your business, and quite frankly, right for your personal financing. With that, have a great day.